Welcome back to the 90s Rewind. That was Delight with Grooves in the Heart. I'm speaking to Ashley Slater, formerly of Freak Power. Now, you are continuing to make great music. Do you want to tell us a little bit about your work with Kinchi Cat?
Yes. Okay, so Kinchi Cat. So, Freak Power does live on. The ghost of it carries on. And I got invited out to Odessa in Ukraine. Just over the internet, some guy started chatting to me, and he said, "Would you come out here and like do a gig?" And I was like, "Okay." So I've got this new project. He said, "Well, come and play with our house band and do a few Freak Power songs. Bring your other band with you, and we'll put it on." And that guy was Nick Kinchikashvili, who is actually of Georgian origin, hence Vili at the end of his name. And we just got along, and I really liked his partner, now wife, Katya, and we just hit it off. And they had this beach club and they ran it for quite a while, and in this winter they would go to Mexico and hang out there, which is also a great idea. And then I guess 3 years ago now, he said, "Look, we want to be a band and we want you to come and write and produce for us." I was like, "Okay, fine." We sat in this hotel room for 2 weeks. I didn't even leave the hotel room for 2 weeks and made this album. And then I went home and mixed it, which took much longer than making it, because it always does. Then last year they said, let's do album 2. And this time it was quite a lot stronger in terms of a concept. They wanted to like tell a story, like a love story. We meet, we blah, 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 we blah, 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 blah. And that was actually quite a lot of fun, because you could, if you have a kind of a framework, it's a lot easier to hang stuff on. I mean, you as a writer, you must know that as well. And it's kind of like working to a brief. So we basically wrote a musical. Nice. And then, so now we're kind of putting that out. But of course, things have changed an awful lot since we made that album. I mean, that hotel room in Odessa, it's still there.
Yeah.
Along 4. And the musicians that we had in to work on the album are currently, in trenches with AK-47s. It's just, it's just been absolutely, utterly heartbreaking.
I mean, it was Odessa's one of those, like you say, one of those places towards the east that hasn't actually come into at the time of this interview, hasn't come into the fight yet. But have you been in contact with any of the people you're working with? Yeah,
every day. They are shelling it, Odessa, but not the town. They're just shelling on the outskirts. But I think how horrifying that is, and I am quite an empathetic individual, really. I think you have to be, well, you don't have to be a musician, but it certainly doesn't hurt. And yeah, I mean, it's just heartbreaking. And I've seen my mate Alexei, his wife and kid, they've gone to Romania. It's just horrendous.
It's just life's just entirely turned upside down for everybody, isn't it?
Yeah. And our plan with Kinchi Cat was, okay, well, here's what we'll do. We'll play it because they are they sing in English, but they speak Russian and Spanish and Ukrainian, and Nick speaks a whole bunch of other languages, Chinese and stuff. And we thought, okay, well, we're not really sure how to promote this band, so I know. We'll go and play at rich Russian oligarchs' parties, and
that would be a good idea.
and try and make it in Russia. So that didn't go very well, obviously.
Musicians are great, but they're not wonderful at making business plans. This is
it would have been a good business plan had
history turned out differently. It's been absolutely brilliant talking to you this evening, Ashley, and taking us back to some of the 90s moments, but also fascinating some of the stuff you're working on now and the experiences you've been through recently as well. I wouldn't be doing my job unless I asked Somebody, some big TV executive phones you up and says, "Freak Power, the reunion. You and Norman getting back together. Should we do this for TV? Is this happening?"
I would absolutely 100% do that. Of course, I would. I mean, the problem is there's no music on TV anymore. But yeah, I would. I mean, the thing is, it would only cost about 250 quid to get me to do it, but they'd have to find another million to get Norman to do guitar.
He's not busy. He's not doing a lot.
Actually, I think he's doing another one of those Brighton Beach things I saw yesterday. So that'll be good.
Oh, we'll all go down. We'll all meet you on the beach, and we'll get the details of it hammered out. And Rossendale Radio will have an exclusive on that. I'm almost certain. And your final track that you've chosen tonight, I think, Superstar DJs, I think is the thing that I pick out from this. Chemical Brothers. I don't think you can go wrong with that, can you?
No, again, very much, and particularly like the scene. Freak Power was on because of Norman, we were on the edge of, in a break beat kind of thing, but also doing the acid jazz thing, and there was crossover, but I loved those bands that were just absolutely having it, like Prodigy, Chems. It was just absolutely smash your head off the wall music, and I loved it. And I was at a gig, actually, I think Norman and Armin van Helden were doing a DJ thing in Brixton one time. And then Norman put this song on. And what you never hear if you listen to it on the radio is that when there's a point at which a kick drum comes in, it's so subby and insane. It absolutely makes the club, go off. So yeah, Chemical Brothers got to be part of it. They're just part of it, aren't they? Part of the 90s.
Well, if Groove is in the Heart got you going, Hey Boy, Hey Girl is going to finish you off. Ashley Slater, thank you so much for joining me tonight.
Thank you so much for your time, Paul.
And for everybody else, this is the Chemical Brothers.